Here we go. Here we go.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to another Invested American podcast. We are really, really excited today. Got a lot of good things coming for you. Man, what a week it's been, Dad.
But
Really,
but it's been a great week. It's been a
yeah.
great week. We've been staying busy. Everyone's like, "Well, I want to take some time off for Labor Day. Can't we meet before? Can't we meet before Labor Day?" We even got an appointment today at noon. I mean, it's great. Here
Yeah.
some people are already taking Friday off, and we got appointments coming in the office at noon today. So pretty excited.
It's
But
firing
yeah,
me up. I'm all excited. So we got a lot of good things coming at you guys today as well. And I want it to be more of a, when we do these lives, I want it to be more interactive. So if you guys are interested in hearing or seeing different things with the show, please feel free to reach out to us and, give us some recommendations of,
yes,
if you want this guest on, or you want us to talk about this, or you want us to do something about that, we would love to talk about that,
yeah,
And I think a great way to start off the show is to kind of talk about or talk about one of our wins this week, because there's been a lot of wins this week
sure,
and last week. But first, I mean, I guess my win would be, we have obviously the new agent Sierra that's doing really well, which is
yeah,
really fires me up. So one of my wins is going to be her win for the week, which really excites me because I've had a lot of wins myself, but I want to give her the credit because I've been working with her time and time again, and she's gotten better over time. But we're doing the live transfer still with Chase McAllister. Shout out Chase, dude.
oh,
Their money.
money,
And I'm sitting there, doing these live transfers, Chase, with her and helping her out. And she got her first, so she got a set of 15 transfers. She got 2 transfers and she was 2 for 2. She sold both of those, right? But the second one, she really didn't need all my help. I helped her out a little bit, but she was there, did it pretty much all by herself, and it was an $80 life app. She
yeah,
wrote the app on Wednesday and it paid yesterday. So
right,
that's a 1 day flip for you. And a new
yeah,
agent getting $700 or $800, that's a really, really big deal. For any
yes,
agent, that's a
it
really,
is.
really big deal,
Yes, it
right?
is.
So that's a really, really big win, because once you tell yourself in the industry, when you do something, and once you see yourself actually do it, you're confident enough that when it comes around again, you're going to be there and do it because you've already done it before, right? Just repetition, right? Whatever's going on, whatever you're doing, that's
It's true.
highly effective, and you're doing well at it. You build confidence over time, and you see her building confidence right now with all the reps that she's doing on the phone, which is really cool to see, because now that's all translating to sales,
Yep.
right? So that's really, really cool. But which one of your wins of the weekend, if you have something
Yeah,
to add to
you
that?
know, I will say just real quick though. I just want to welcome everyone that is on the show that is tuned in already, and like Alexander said, please comment, engage with us. Share some thoughts, ideas. Theory, thanks also for continuing to update our our web portal on the YouTube channel, and putting our podcast over there. Please share and subscribe to that stuff too. Alex, I will tell you. One of our biggest wins, we have continued to expand our brand and how we're doing things. And the whole movement, both myself and Grant right now, Grant's a new person that we hired on board with us. He's also an advisor with us, but he does a lot of the back end stuff for us. Grant Bruton's also my future son-in-law, your future brother-in-law. You know, uh, but one of the best ones I'd say is this: with him and I've been working with some clients about looking at their funds and looking at being more holistic, meaning that serving people with fixed index annuities, if that's the desire, lifetime income, if that's the desire, index universal life. But also, we're working with a firm, and if we need to get them, they're more interested in the market and investing that way and having more liquidity with their current IRA. We're making some of those movements, and Grant and I were sitting with some people to make that happen this week. So
Yep.
that ball is definitely moving in the expansion of our company. So pretty excited about that. Yeah,
Good, yeah.
yeah, for
Because I know
sure.
that was one of our bigger
Yeah,
clients
absolutely, buddy.
from the
Yeah, for sure.
seminar.
We met that gentleman at a seminar, bud. I want to say back in February, you and I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing, Alex. I think what's been great for us in working together too is your commitment. Because at the end of the day, you're the one committing, so I'm proud of you. To do seminars with me and your mom. you know, being consistent, showing up, helping, fund the program. I mean, I love, people just think all the time, and I'll just brag on you a bit. You probably just hand everything to Alexander. No, I really don't. Do I hook my son up because he's my son? Well, yeah, I'm going to do that. But no, you talk to Alexander on your own. He'll tell you, no, I'll tell you how much my dad charges me for these seminars. I know what I'm paying. You know what I mean? But you're doing a great job. You're investing in your own business. You've generated your own leads. You buy leads from Chase McAllister as well with the live transfers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm proud of you for that. But it takes all of that work over and over and over again. And that's what we've been consistent at. And that's why the business is expanding, right?
100%. Quick here, shout out Joe. Thank you for hopping on here. Ollie Sala and Alexander Sala is the man.
Dylan, you know that Joe's the man. He's coaching now. You see some of that stuff on Facebook.
Yeah,
he's always kids sports. I love it.
Dylan Neisner, how are you doing? And then Lily, how are you doing? Thank you for all your continued support and help on the podcast as well.
For sure.
With all the podcasts in the syndicate, because you're the one that helps market stuff for us. So thank you. I appreciate it. But to get into our two main topics today, obviously the retirement segment, and then to get into our new agent kind of helping strategies and tips, kind of piggybacking from last week as well on some stuff that we had gave, but also more constructive things that we've done to help Sierra out that we know that will work out for you as well.
Sure.
Right. But to start on the retirement segment, like you saw in the description, we really focus on, and what I've learned in the industry and what you've learned as well, Dad, is doing, and this doesn't matter what you're doing for someone with final expense, whether you're helping them out with their investments, whether you're helping out with their health insurance, you always want to do it in the client's point of view, right? Because you'll see someone do the same thing for every single client, and it doesn't always work out because the client's a different color than what color you may be, right? Kind of like when we learned that the colors at SWAT, right? So you have to, when you're talking with these people, you have to recognize and ask them, what are your goals? What are you trying to achieve? So when they tell you that, then you can start painting a picture from a past story that you may have seen or heard, or that you have experienced yourself. Start painting that story of the picture to them. Then they start recognizing, what's actually going on, and they like it even more because you're doing it from their point of view, and they're like, okay, this is really making sense. I agree with him. There's a lot of good things going on here, because if you do it from complete opposite of what they're expecting, they're not going to like it. And then they could get a little flustered maybe, or something like that. So to kind of get into our retirement segment, Dad, I'll give you the mic here, but
Alex, before we do that, you said something, and I want you to carry another thought through that piggybacks with it. You're talking about meeting with people and depending on what color they are. Explain what you mean by the colors. Because not everyone's been to SWAT. Obviously, you and I have been to SWAT a few times. Shout out to our boy Nate and his whole training program with SWAT and everything he does. But why don't you just explain a little bit so, everyone obviously that's listening that hasn't been a part of that great experience set. And we highly suggest that you find Nate and you can make sure you plug into SWAT next year. But why don't you break down that just for a minute here for all the listeners?
Yep. So what it really turns out to be, there's red, yellow, green, and blue.
And it's about people's personalities, right? The way they act.
Yeah. So
the way they respond to things.
Those are the colors, and it's people's personalities and how you can reach them from their, just from how they act, really, and how they feel about things. Really, it's a feeling too, how they feel about things, right? So your reds are going to be like really hardworking, do anything at all costs to win. Right? Like they're going to do whatever it takes to get that. Or, as Nate likes to say, it's just the people that have crazy money that are just fired up, ready to go no matter what the situation is, right? They're ready to just go win.
Absolutely.
Right? Your yellows are going to be more happy, more always caring about someone else's feelings all the time. Even if you're told to do something and they don't want to do it, the yellow may feel for them, oh, I'm sorry that you don't want to do that. Let's try this, right? More like a red's going to be like, well, no, you're going to do this no matter what, right? So that's a kind of comparison there. Then the blues are more playful, more fun, they're just like to get out and have a good time, but they can still get back to work, right? And they still know the task at hand, but they're more playful, more out. I guess you could. I don't know if the word's outgoing, but they enjoy themselves and they like to enjoy the time, right?
Yes.
And then your greens are a lot more analytical. So those people that got to know everything. But
some people need the detail, Alexander. Some people
but
need
no, those are the people that are the detailed people that need to know literally what is going on, no matter what the situation, what is every single outcome to this situation, what's going to happen if this happens, what's going to happen if that happens, right? They have to know all the facts, whatever it is. Which it's good to have some greens in your life, because I think everybody needs some greens, because if you don't have people that kind of know everything, like actually know everything, not just say they know everything,
right.
I think that's a key component as well, because the reds are just like, let's just do it, whatever it is, let's just do it. We'll figure out what happens after this later. Whatever happens after this, we'll figure it out later. Let's just go ahead and do it now.
Yeah.
But having green as well, when you're like, okay, let's just go get after it, the green's going to say, well, this could possibly happen. I know you want to do this, but I know you like to do this too. So just go with that one, because there could be a better outcome for that one than there is that one. Right. So that's something as well, with colors. That's really the real scheme of things with colors.
And you know what, Alex, as we're talking about this, let's stay on the topic for a second here. What's super cool is when you bring this up, like I think about it, as we're building the Invested American, think about what we're doing. Okay. We've got, we've got reds, blues on our team. I think we got reds and blues. And I'll tell you this, what I'm excited about Grant? I think Grant's like a blue-green hybrid, and I don't have any green in me. You know what I'm saying? So it's important as we're building our team you're not a green guy, so as we're building your team and we're building our company, you need the different colors, because all the colors together make the best solution. If you have a team full of reds, you're not going to make it. If you got a team full of blues, you're not going to make it, because you're going to miss things that the other people will be able to navigate and help you with if you're sincerely looking for the help and the growth.
Yeah. And like we're talking about here, the point of view from the client's point of view. So whatever color the client is, not that you're changing who you are, you're just approaching them in that way so they can have a better understanding about where you're coming from. Because if a client doesn't understand where you're coming from, or they feel like you're talking over their head, talking pretty much what I think about when you're, I guess, talking over someone's head, like, Dad, you're a red, for example, and you could be talking to a yellow, right? And you're just like, go, 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 go. And the yellow's like, whoa, you know what I mean? And taking it back and being more, I guess, being more soft, because the yellows are softer, right? They like the softness, and then they start to understand you because you're being more soft, not so much wounded up, fired up, ready to go, right? But yeah, that's just an example. But you can go ahead and get on our topic with, clients' goals and how to achieve. And
it's funny that we were discussing this, because it wasn't by design, because in some ways, what we're going to discuss today regarding retirement, and again, in every episode, my son and I, in our Invested American episode, we love launching it here on the syndicate. We'll always open up the show with a quick conversation, and then we're going to always get into two major pieces. We're going to get into something regarding retirement. We've done that the last couple of weeks, talking about fixed index annuities or retirement planning, or just retirement planning basics that we will continue to do week after week on every episode. And then we're going to have a hot topic we're going to discuss that him and I might be currently working on that might be somewhat engaging, or inviting to you all to also engage with us. And in today's piece regarding retirement, I got my notes here too, so I don't miss any major topics. I think it's funny because, we all have needs assessments that we use. In each one of our companies, we might have a different style needs assessment, right? And everyone's needs assessment is pointed to ask the questions that need to be asked. So this way you can plug the client in where they need to live or what they're going to need, right? And that's true. But I think sometimes we have to remember the sub-questions that come within the needs assessment, especially when you're trying to form a relationship and a great understanding to truly find a way to help navigate someone through retirement and not help them with a few of their different assets. Oh, let me write an annuity for you. Oh, let me go ahead. I can help you with that life insurance. How about truly a holistic approach of covering everything from A to Z. And then when you get to each topic, dive right in. And I'm going to kind of share a little bit with you guys about that now. One of the things I always like to discuss is when you sit down with somebody and you're sitting with a client, you've got to figure a way. Okay, the agenda the goal here is to do what? Is to optimize people's assets in the greatest way possible to utilize an opportunity where their money goes up, not down, allow them to receive income if they need income, while the rate of return is still higher than all things taken into account. And it's funny because people say, man, my money's in the market and inflation's killing me. For example, that's a good piece to educate clients on. We need to remember the market truly matches in a lot of ways the rate of inflation. And when I say matches, it takes it into account. Maybe that's the better way to say it. You follow me so far, Alex? What I'm talking about here? Here's what I mean. If inflation's got everything up 2% today, just as an example, I'm just throwing numbers out. They don't really have any value. But if we throw, inflation, is up 2%, you can bet that the market's also up on the rate of return for inflation, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because all these companies are dealing with inflation. So their costs are all up. So everything's going to go up if inflation's up. So I always remind people, inflation doesn't really hurt your investment unless your investment keeps going backwards. Okay? Because all inflation will do is match you where you are. So you know what? If 100 grand is worth 100 grand today, and tomorrow, because of inflation, and the rate of returns, well, then your money's going to go. Whatever inflation is going to go, your money's going to naturally go in that direction. So I always tell people, inflation is not the fear of your accounts. Inflation rubs you wrong because the cost of goods, because the money you have isn't going to afford the purchasing power like it used to, right? So through retirement, we got to navigate, figure, and ask the right probing questions, right? For example, okay, people don't understand this. You got to figure out first and foremost, during retirement, are you needing an income? What are your expenditures? What are the costs coming out of it? What are going to be your expenses? Are you charitable? And if you are charitable, how much do you donate? What does that look like? How much are you putting in every single month? Or every single week? How do you do that? Do you have a college fund that you're still funding, right? Like my wife, Shelly, and I, we still have some of our young adult children in college, and that's what Shelly and I do. We are helping prepare our children for tomorrow. So we've got college funding. How many grandparents out there do you all talk to? And they're also helping fund college for their grandkids. Alex, think about the client that we had in-house this last week that we were meeting with. And he left our appointment after we got done here at the office. I think it was on Tuesday. He said, oh, look, I got to get ready to go because I got to go see my grandson down in Stillwater. I'm going to give him some money. And he's also we're going to go have some, we're going to go get dinner. And I said, and now, you know where they went to dinner? They went to, what's the place that has the rolls in Stillwater?
Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he loves him some Texas Roadhouse. I said, yeah, he doesn't love the steak. He loves the rolls at Texas Roadhouse.
The rolls are dangerous. They'll get you.
They're
You'll be stuffed before your meal comes out.
Hey, and all I say every time I eat one, man, these protein balls are great. That's what they are.
Only if they just start putting protein in them, that would be crazy.
That would be crazy, right? But what's cool is here I am talking to this client. We're going over stuff, and here he is. Here's a guy in retirement. Literally, we have already set this guy up. He's got some of his money set up in the market. We've got him set up with a couple different FIA products, and then he's looking at an IUL, right? But he's also funding and helping his grandkids. During retirement, everyone's scenario is going to be a little different, and you got to walk through those paths with people. So first and foremost, right off the bat, we got to find out what expenditures they have, what do they got going on, what debts do they have. Man, remember to ask your clients about debt. You'll be surprised how often you're talking to a client, you're setting their finances up, you're trying to get things in order for them. And then you find out down the road, you missed it, you didn't ask the right question. And they say, oh yeah, I also have still that credit card debt for $7,200 because we had to buy that air conditioner 2 years ago. Oh, brutal. They've been making payments on this thing for 2 years on the credit card because they needed an air conditioner 2 years ago. Right? You got to find a way to consolidate that. How do you get that paid down or get that moved over to a less debt by percentage is what I mean, whatever the interest rate's going to be. But, if we don't dive in and we don't ask, we don't find this stuff out. And then it doesn't get resolved. And
Yeah.
people are making decisions sometimes from fear, and you got to help them out. So let's walk this through with everybody. Think about it. If your client has $100,000, okay, you go through all their expenditures, you go through all the stuff that they got going on, right? And then you start talking about their what they have maybe as a surplus every month, right? Like how much money do they have at the end of the month after expenses, after donations, after helping their one son, after helping fix their daughter's car? Like how much do we got in surplus when all that happens? Okay. And then check this out. What you can do is you can take the surplus and help your client put that money inside of an indexed universal life policy. Let's talk about it. What's an indexed universal life policy? An indexed universal life policy is a place where you can fund an account. You can grow a nice, fat, big death benefit while you're building an accumulation account, right? That later in life, you can take money out for liquidity. You want to talk about what's great about an IUL? Liquidity, the opportunities and the options that you'll have. You can borrow against the account, right? At a lower interest rate than what you're earning. So you're always making money inside your account. Again, power towards the liquidity of an indexed universal life. The tax advantages for an IUL are off the chain. And I know, Alex, I'm going off quite a bit here. I'll hand it back over to you.
Oh, you got it.
But, think about this. All your life, you can invest inside this indexed universal life policy. And you know what's going to happen when you go to use that money later in life, ladies and gentlemen? That money later in life will be 100% tax-free. And we're embarking on a time right now during retirement and with our seniors that we're learning how people are being taxed on their Social Security. People are afraid to pull their IRA money out because they're like, if I pull it out, I also got to pay taxes. And I already got this income coming in over here, right? What am I supposed to do? It's really crazy because we work all our lives, we make sacrifices, we make decisions, and then when we go to use the money, somehow the government's got us thinking we can't use it or it's going to cost us too much, right? Well, what's great about an indexed universal life is when you start pulling money out of those accounts, when you do, you don't have to pay taxes. You see, a lot of products, most products, when you invest, you're going to pay taxes. That's going to happen, okay? But not with an IUL. I always share the story, Alice. I'm biased towards our Michigan boys. And hey, by the way, really cool Netflix documentary. If anyone hasn't seen it with Connor Stallion, the guy was the sign caller for Michigan that got all caught up. And I love what someone said I saw on ESPN. He said, if you were a big Michigan fan and you watched that show, you're going to love Harbaugh and Michigan even more.
Yeah.
If you think that Harbaugh was a crook and you think that Michigan is just horrible, you're going to think that after you watch the documentary.
Yep.
So it's people's perspectives.
Yep.
What side do you come from? And it's funny how that manipulates your thoughts, But okay, let's get back to this. So we can fund it for the liquidity of an IUL policy. The other thing I want you guys to realize, though, is this. When you're talking to a client, do you all realize that in the last 20 years, if you would have placed your money just inside of an index fund, like the S&P 500, do you all realize that you would have never lost any money? You would be so far up right now. You'd be up over 15 and 16%. In the last 10 years, the S&P 500 has performed over 13%. Do you understand that that's better than most of these managed accounts? All these experts and all these gurus, they're all going to show you how to invest your money. Look, you could just put it right inside of an index fund like the S&P 500, which, by the way, so many FIA products have also got as one of their index strategies, the natural true results of the S&P 500. It's powerful. But then again, you have to understand that may not work for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have to be aware. Let's talk really quick again one more time about income. Not everybody needs an income, and I hear that all the time. Well, an annuity is just for income. No, it's not. A fixed indexed annuity is a product that allows for accumulation without the downside of the market. That's what an FIA product brings to the house every single time. But what it also attracts are those that want lifetime incomes. Okay. And I just want to address this when it comes to talking to your client, going over a needs assessment, and how do IULs fit inside retirement plans. How often, Alexander, you and I have sat with clients many times. They'll say, "Yeah, I like to get 3,000 a month while I'm retired, right? Or 4,000 a month." And then they'll ask Alex, "Well, what happens when I die? Can my wife get any of that money, or can my husband get any of that money?" Right? That's always the follow up. And I ask them, "Do you want a payment that is going to also have a survivor benefit, or do you want to have a payment that does not?" And here's what I mean. Joe might have $100,000 in an account. Again, it's just an example. The numbers don't have any value. It's just an example. So you got $100,000, and Joe wants $4,000 a month during retirement. I'd love $4,000 a month, but Ali, when I die, I don't want it to go to zero. I want my wife to continue receiving a payment every single month. Well, okay. In this example, just for the sake of argument here, it was 4,000. Now they're going to pay him 3,000. Okay. So now they're going to pay the client 3,000 a month, because when the client dies, they're going to continue paying that 3,000 a month to the spouse for the rest of his or her life. Everybody with me? So now it's paid out even longer. Okay. Here's what I suggest. Why not get the 4,000, live on the 3,000, and dump another 1,000 inside your index universal life policy? What's that index universal life policy going to do by doing that? It's going to create an account that's going to have a death benefit that's going to be 100% tax-free, that'll far outweigh your distribution you're going to get for the rest of your life. You got to weigh out your pros and your cons, and you really got to put a pen to paper. So one more time. What if instead of, when someone's looking for lifetime payout, you suggest taking the larger payout with no survivor benefit, taking the difference and dumping it inside of an index universal life policy? That, ladies and gentlemen, will change the game. Increases death benefit opportunities, and another place where you're putting money back for what? Tax-free income later. It's powerful.
Yeah.
Thought, buddy, you want to say something? I'm going to cut you off.
Yeah, no, you're good. I think that's all great, 100%. Like I said, when I first handed this all off to you, was just always, no matter what line of business you guys are doing, always do it from the client's point of view. I was in Springfield.
2 years, a year and a half ago.
Yeah, well, not for the Ultimate Agent. This was for some boot camp that Cody had rolling.
Okay.
And Adam and I were over there, and I really learned the whole point of view thing from you, but like hearing it from different people, like different things is always good. So Sherry Summers was obviously there and was talking to everybody, and she was always talking about like, oh, you always have to paint the picture for the client. You always have to do it from their point of view, because if you don't, it's just not going to work out. So as they always say, facts tell, stories sell, right? So when you're sitting down with the client and you're going from their point of view and telling the story of what happened or what's past something that has happened, and that's how they can relate to it, because they're like, well, I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want that to happen at all. So once you do it from their point of view and you're telling the story to where they can see like that they don't want that to happen to them, and they see the problem of what could happen if they don't do this, right? Obviously, we don't want to make the client look dumb, but at some level, you want them to like not really make sense what they're saying, because you're painting such a good picture and showing it to them from their point of view. They're like, this makes 100% sense, and my idea doesn't make very much sense, right? And when you can have them understand that, you're going to win a client over every time, because you're not. And people think, people always have their opinions on salespeople, whatever it is, that they're just trying to get in and sell you something. But when you actually show someone what you're actually trying to do to help them, and they recognize that, and you're not just trying to get money off them, because at the end of the day, I watched a video. It was some Andy Elliott video, and he was talking about when you're talking with a client and you're showing them a few different things and what you could do to help them, you tell them, hey, I'm good either way. I'm just trying to show you a few different things that could, help you out. But at the end of the day, I'm good either way. And it makes it look like, okay, this guy isn't even that desperate. Like he's not like pushing so hard for this sale. He painted the picture great. He did everything great. He's not pushing for the sale, right? You can always push for the sale by painting the picture and showing them what's going on. But once you finish that, you can push hard on that. But once you're done finishing that, telling them, hey, either way, I'm good. I'm just trying to help you out today. I think we should definitely get something started for you. Right.
Yep.
Just like that. And relating to anything that I just talked about, relating to selling an annuity, writing health or life insurance or an ancillary product, it's all the same. You're just going to bring up a story from the past and use that to push your sale forward,
Yeah. Alex, I can appreciate you saying that because, you know how you said facts tell, stories sell, and you're talking about sharing the story and painting the picture. That's really what it's relatability. Over and over and over again. And I think I'm the first one. I put out content. I put content on social media all the time, and I pride myself on saying that I'm proud that I do sales. I'm proud to be in this industry. I'm not ashamed of this industry. I'm excited to do insurance. I'm excited to be in retirement planning. Like that's good. I hold that as a badge of honor. Okay. What's critical about that though is I also view myself as an educator. Okay. And I'm not trying to dismiss teachers and people that are teachers and, doctors and teaching. I'm not dismissing, but I teach in what I do, and when I teach in what I do, I just get better at it. And I will tell you, I tell every one of my clients, every appointment, I say this, I have a goal, and my goal is not to sell you today anything. My goal is to educate you today, because with proper education, it will empower you. And instead of you worrying about doing business with me, you're excited about doing business with me because I've got you to a place of understanding. And when people understand things, they get excited about it. When they don't understand, they get scared and they have reservation. Does that make sense? So focus on being the educator and being okay. Like you said, Alex, sometimes you might just need to walk away from for right now. It's not time. Let it go. Yes, you're right. We might lose some sales along the way because when you get away from them, but you know what? You can be pushy too and be a jerk. And if you're not reaching, if you're not feeling the colors of what color the person might be, you're not relating with the stories, you're going to get smacked. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, because you can always find there's always a fine line of balance in between being pushy, but also relating with what color they are with being kind of pushy.
Yep.
So like you can be like a playful type of pushy, or like a more like red pushy, or like more of more of just a fun, like, just being fun with it,
Yep.
And I think that's really important too. But to kind of get on our topic here, with new agents and really just things that we've done with Sierra that's helped her excel because she's doing really good, and using that to give to the people that are watching that could be a new agent, and how that can help implement them in their business.
Sure.
Just like it's doing her.
Yep. And let me say this, Alex, as you spoke about earlier, I just want to say this. So Sierra's a teacher. We may have talked about her on another call, but she's a newbie that Alexander's really spent a bunch of time with, and done a lot of mentoring, a lot of coaching, a lot of this kind of stuff. And I wanted Alex to really break down today some of this stuff and what it looks like, because you know what it is? It's tedious. It's boring. It's not a whole lot of fun all the time. But man, the reward feelings you get when you see things happen through that work is what's exciting. So yeah, I mean, when she first started, she had never done anything like this before, scared, uncomfortable. We got her on board. We got her obviously to do a bunch of training online with the Unreal team and their live transfer program. Powerful. But you know what? All that's good and dandy. But every time I walk in there, I see your butt in there sitting next to her, or she's in your office doing something. Talk about that, because this is what I believe agents really need. The new guy, the new gal, this is what they need. And I'm just excited that we get to kind of talk about a little bit of how we do that here at TIA and with some of your raw talent. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. I believe it definitely starts with the new agent being more, I guess the word would be optimistic. You definitely want to be optimistic to where you can go in this business, because like we talked about 2 or 3 podcasts ago, people have a level of doubt because there's a level of uncertainty.
Yep.
If you're not uncertain and you're certain about what's going to happen, there won't be any doubt, right?
That's
So
right.
a new agent that comes in, they're so uncertain about what's going to happen, they're already doubting themselves. How are you going to already be doubting yourself if you claim that you're optimistic for the opportunity at hand, right? So what I think not even just to Sierra, any agent that's came on, we show them how it looks to be optimistic and have always that blind faith and certainty that it is going to work out, because it starts with that. Because if your head's not in the right space with what I'm trying to train you on and trying to help you out, and you're already telling yourself and you're doubting yourself that this may not work out, it's probably not going to work out, honestly. But if you're optimistic about what's going to happen for the future, that this could really work out and I'm going to take this and run and try, then there will be a good opportunity that could happen. So that's going to be the first thing, is when I'm training someone to see, are they really optimistic, and is it worth me or you or someone else in the office spending time with Sierra, right, to see if
Yep.
she's optimistic or not. And she showed us that she really is. But I'm saying is that for new people, it's going to start with what you're telling yourself in your head, because perception nowadays is reality. So what you keep telling yourself is what's going to happen. So everybody watching, if you're a new agent, whatever you're telling yourself probably will happen. You keep telling yourself over and over again, it's going to happen, right? You pray for all these things to happen, and slowly it's going to happen, right? So perception's reality, and making sure that you're not getting so wounded up in what's you're telling yourself, just going out there and being optimistic and doing it. So that's the number one thing. Number 2 would be being diligent enough and coachable to actually implement what I'm telling you, right? So I'll tell her when she's on the phone and she doesn't really know what to say. I'll say, I want you to say this, this, and this. And I'm so comfortable with the phone. I'm giving her a response like she's just talking to the person. Like, this is so off script because I've done this for so long. It's just kind of second nature for me, just to pretty much just
Wait. You haven't done anything for so long, but you have done it a bunch of times. I want to be real, like a lot of times. Alexander's 20. He's been making phone calls since 16. I'm
so
50 years old.
4 years isn't long.
No. And for a lot of guys that are on this call, they've been doing a lot of stuff for a long time. No disrespect. I love you. But you know what? Here's the thing, Alex. You have taken shot after shot after shot over. I mean, again, not to sit here and talk just about you, but when you were 16 years old, you came to the office, you were making calls after calls after calls after calls. 18 years old, you got your license, calls, door knocking. You've been exposed so much. What you have done is you've compressed what some people do in years in a lot shorter amount of months.
Yeah.
So that's the truth, bro. And I'm excited about it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not to get off tangent here. Go ahead.
You're good. But yeah, I was saying, obviously after the optimistic,
Yeah.
being coachable enough to do exactly what I'm telling you, because also I'll give coaching to someone. They're on the phone. I say this, and they say like something around the lines of that. Like, I told you to say that, so you can say that. Don't go out of your way and switch something up, because I heard the response of what the client said, so I'm telling you exactly what to say, right? So when I say being coachable in everything, right? When a mentor, someone's telling you to do something, you need to do it, right? Like, especially when you're on the phone with the client, if I'm telling you to say something, say it, because I've seen this happen so many times. I know what the response is for whatever they're saying, right? Because there was an agent in the past that I was training, and I'm sitting there training them, and and they're on the phone talking with someone. I'm telling them, and this is multiple times, told them to say this, and they said something around the lines of it. Then it happened again. Told them this. They said something around the lines of that. I said, and they were on the phone call. I was like, put it on mute. I was like, hey, when I'm giving you coaching, I need you to say exactly what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like, you got to say exactly what I'm telling you, because I know kind of how the client's going to respond to what I'm getting ready to say. So just say that, so I feel good, and it's going to help you learn that, oh, I should probably start saying this.
Yep.
Right. So number 2 is definitely just, at the end of the day, being coachable and optimistic to what I'm telling you, and just using that. Right. So that comes back to, really, I'm going to put number 3 as just your mentor, really. So, or I could put number 2 as your mentor, and then being coachable number 3, because obviously having the open mind and clarity that it's going to work out. Then 2 is having the mentor, because if you don't have someone that's already kind of done what you're trying to do, it's not even really going to work out, because they haven't done it right. If someone's giving you mentorship that's doing exactly what you're doing, like starting, you're not going to get better, right? So for new agents like you and I, training them is, we can be a mentor to them. They just have to, number 2, have the mentor, but number 3, be coachable in whatever I'm telling you. And honestly, I'm not even going to say hard work, because that's something that you should already have. That should be an intangible that you already have.
Yep.
Because if you're coming in here, I'm sure you're ready to work, right? So I'm not even going to put hard work in there, because that's just a given. I mean, you have to work hard. But yeah, I would say those are my top 3 things, 100%, that we've used with Sierra, but also what you need to use with every single agent that you have coming on.
Yeah.
Is that.
Alex, really what part of what you're talking about is, how we talk about pressure. People only excel through pressure. Well, here's an analogy. If someone wants orange juice, what do they got to do? They got to squeeze oranges. If you want toothpaste to clean your teeth, what do you got to do? You got to squeeze to get the toothpaste out. If you want a nice glass of wine, what do you got to do? You got to get your feet dirty and squash those grapes, right? It requires squeezing to go to the next level, whatever that next level is. There always seems to be some sort of a squeeze that has to be implemented or has to happen. So I agree 100%. Alex, I'll say this though. You are talking about, a simple example is the client says, well, I'm not interested in life insurance right now. Again, I'm just going through an example here. I'm not, when we're, you might coach someone to say, okay, tell me then, what interested you to fill out the information today, right? And that might take them back. But the new agent might say, oh, okay, so you don't want to talk about life insurance anymore, and that goes crazy. But the only way you can coach somebody, the only way you can have success with somebody, is when you're like you're doing sometimes. You're just sitting in there listening to the calls. Because if you don't catch the advisor's hand in the cookie jar, it'll never happen. You can't tell me what to do, tell me what to do, tell me what to do. But then when the game's going on, you don't coach me. I need coaching during the game. Right. Basketball coaches don't just always sit on the chair. Hey, how's it going over there? No, they're usually up. They're walking back and forth. They're looking at what's going on. Football coaches aren't sitting on the bench. They're there. Why? Because they're coaching in the moment. So right. The reality is, here at TIA, when you get someone like Alexander that's helping coach and mentor you, that's what he's on the sidelines, man. Like he's right there. There's an earpiece. He's talking to you. He's coaching you along the journey, so your confidence will improve, your ability to help and serve others will improve, and then everybody wins.
Right. Yeah, I love that. And I think you hit that pretty much spot on. Is at the end of the day, the top 3 things, I'll run down this real quick and then we can wrap this up. Sure. Is number 1, I guess you can just say being optimistic and having blind faith with clarity that it's going to work out. 2 is having a great mentor. Because if you don't have a great mentor, not even that it's a great mentor, someone that's done all these things that you're looking to do, you need that. Then 3, being coachable to whatever coaching they give you. Whatever they tell you to do is exactly what you need to do.
Yep.
Because doing your own little thing won't work out at all. I would say probably the first since I've had my license since I'm 18, getting ready to turn 21. So coming up on 3 years.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, probably the first 6 to 9 months, really, I was just doing my own thing, just going through the motions in the industry. So that's why I was telling you, and a lot of people don't know this, but I wasn't even trying to go to the ultimate agent because I was so everything I was doing was pretty much in shambles, me working, because you can only tell me so many things so many times, and you told me I need to be doing all this, but I wasn't doing it. Right.
Sure.
So I didn't want to go on the ultimate agent because I knew I was like, I probably won't do good at this because I didn't have the clarity because I wasn't doing good. So I wasn't certain. And I gave the level of doubt of even doing it because I knew I wasn't going to do good. Right. But throwing myself out there in the fire is really what changed my business. Right. So honestly, the breaking point, everybody has a breaking point in their career. My breaking point was honestly getting on the ultimate agent to open up my eyes that I can actually do this. Right.
Yep.
Shout out Gary. What's up, brother? I appreciate you. Alex, you are the ultimate agent. Look at these studs.
Let me tell you something. Alexander is the ultimate agent, baby. Hey, Alex, good. You want to give a shot again? You move your camera real quick.
Yeah. You'll appreciate this, Gary, if you're still watching. I got the check up here on the wall. We got it framed probably a couple months ago.
Yeah, baby.
You see that? Love that.
Yeah, I don't have one in my office, Cody. If you ever see this segment,
We should do like we should do
you want to do
a veteran ultimate agent. Dude, that would be crazy if he did a veteran ultimate agent. I mean, having like 5 or 6 beast agency owners get on that crap. Oh my gosh. But one thing that he would need to do is I don't want everybody to be working their own lead source. I think having veteran, agency owners working only the leads that Cody provides, I want to see how that would go. That would be pretty cool.
And then
and
you can work referrals, whatever you can produce out of referrals from your sales.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Self-doubt will punish you. Believe in yourself, bro. Yes, sir.
Yes.
He said, I need that so I can cash it out. Ha ha ha.
Alex, I want to say this because you've mentioned that a few times, and I'm going to put a reel or a TikTok about this out. Years ago, Gary, and anyone else listening, but Gary, years ago, I worked for a guy when I was first learning sales and marketing. His name was Lyndon Wood. The guy was a beast, big Tony Robbins student, the whole deal. And he taught me about anchors. Okay. And here's what he would do. Like I watched this guy speak in rooms of 25 and 40,000 people. Like this guy's a monster. Okay. And he would be in the bathroom. He'd always go to the bathroom before he wrapped up. He always had a jacket on, not always had a tie on. And he'd go to the bathroom and he would check himself out, maybe use the restroom real quick, wash his hands, look at himself, and then he'd go like this. He would take his hand and he would go like this. This was an anchor because when he did this created something. Okay, whatever that thing it created, it put him in the zone. No naysayers. Everything's great all the time. I'm 100% on tilt. I'm going to do an incredible job. I'm going to have that anchor. Well, I will tell you, I always saw that. So you know what I would do? I started doing that. And you know what? Nothing happened. I didn't feel it. I didn't get the energy. I'm like, man, why is my guy doing this? And it works. It doesn't work for me. And you know what I'll tell you? It's taken several years and a long time. But I'll tell you my anchor. I don't get out of a house. I don't get out of my car. I don't leave my house. I will make sure to get myself in the right space. I'll tell you how I create an anchor. I will stop. I will cross myself. I will say a quick prayer and I will recross myself. Because when I do that, that makes me optimistic. It makes me super focused. It makes me driven. It reminds me of what matters most. And it keeps my head in the right space because I know that with God, all things are possible for me. Right? So that's what I need. Now, again, my mentor, he needed this. I think that's great. That was his, but that's mine. And I got to tell you, don't think being optimistic is something you do by yourself. Again, I use God and then I use my circle. Alexander's not always Mr. Optimistic. He's got his own storms. He's got his own stuff, right? Sometimes I need to push his button. Sometimes he's helping push my button, right? That's what's great about being together. But you have to make sure you have the anchor and the support system because it's a mindset game attitude. And the more you can do it, the more you'll electrically connect those dots inside your brain. It's no joke. I'm living this every single day.
Yep. and everything that everybody's got their own little thing that they do to get themselves fired up and ready to go,
Heck yeah.
And Gary said, love it. Love the anchor concept. But where's the number one Sala? Mama Sala is the best. Love seeing y'all at SWAT.
Yeah. Actually, Shelly will be coming in here for the sales meeting here in a bit, and then we have we have an appointment that we set up after we have clients coming in. So
we'll tell you you said what's up and gave her a little shout out. She'll love that. So.
Yeah, she will. Yeah, she will.
But guys, thank you so much. Great. We're coming up on the 50-minute mark. Thank you guys so much for watching the show today. A lot of good things. Probably one of our best podcasts we've done. And it continues to get better and better. Shout out Joe and Tony. We appreciate you guys for letting us run the show. We're so fired up, thankful. It gets us to, do a podcast. I love doing podcasts. So whatever opportunity that we have to do a podcast, I'm all for it. So I appreciate you guys. Please go to our YouTube channel, The Invested American. Like, share, subscribe to everything. This will be getting pushed out to our YouTube channel as well. And we do have a special guest, one of my good buddies, coming on next Friday as well. So you guys stay tuned for that.
Awesome.
But without that, Dad, what else do you got anything?
I just want to say happy Labor Day to everybody. All the advisors that are out there, labor's, our workforce, the people that are out there that make commitments, and the struggle. Labor Day is about a celebration of those works. And at the Invested American, Alex and I, we try to carry those traits and those qualities to our advisors and to our clients and to all you viewers today. Have a great Labor Day weekend. God bless you. Spend time with family, have God in your life, and have great things happen. So that's it for me, bro.
Cool. I appreciate it. Well, guys, we will see you guys back next Friday with another great show. We will talk to you guys then. Thank you so much.